Hi guys, today I have this Honda Dio and I'm going to give this some tips to you on the oil replacement for a Honda Dio or Activa. Most of you may think what tips anyone can give about a Honda Dio or Activa oil replacement, but there are certain things that many people, even the authorized workshops, don't do, and it's good if you know about this and you insist them to do those checks. So the first thing I want to tell you is what spanners you need to replace the oil. You need a 17 box spanner, like I have over here, a 17 box spanner, a small extension, and a speed ratchet. The reason I use a 17 box spanner is it's good for the hexagon of the bolt, so you don't mess up with the hexagon getting slipped or anything, especially for this stainer side of the drain bolt, because it's a soft aluminum drain bolt, and if you use anything like a ring spanner, or a fixed spanner, this hexagon may get, the head may get slipped. So I'm going to tell you what needs to be done. So the first thing I did when I drained the oil was I warmed up the engine for almost 5-10 minutes. I just went out for a small ride. The reason I do it is once you warm up the engine, the oil becomes viscous, it becomes thinner, and it flows down from the engine quickly. So and everything comes down quickly. So normally जब भी आपकी गाड़ी ठंडी होती है, now I'm in Pune, and the climate over here is almost 8 degree, 9 degree in the night time. So there is a possibility that the oil may become a little thicker, but this was a Mobil one, fully synthetic oil. So I'm hoping that it was already efficient enough to come down, viscous enough to come down quickly. But still, I prefer warming up the engine, be it a car, be it a bike. Warm up the engine and then drain the oil. Don't drain the oil with a cold engine. That's tip number 1. Okay. Tip number 2. I have removed this is the drain bolt. That's the drain hole over there. I have removed the oil from this side. Okay. Always remove this dipstick or the filler cap, so that there is no oil trap inside and the oil flows quickly, and everything flows down. All oil is drained. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3. Now most mechanics, even the authorized showroom mechanics, at times I can loudly say that 90% of the authorized mechanics as well do not remove this stainer bolt. Okay, it is a must to remove this, because आप अगर इसको remove नहीं करोगे, you don't remove the stainer. So it is like this over here, in this position. Okay, if you do not remove this and put new oil inside, जो भी आपका कचरा जो भी स्टेनर पे होगा, anything, a metal burr, anything can be, dirt accumulation can come on this. It will again get mixed up with the new engine oil. Okay, so ensure when you are when your mechanic is changing the engine oil, he opens up the left hand side drain bolt as well, which has the stainer inside, and cleans it. Okay, this is a very important tip. Tip number 3, very, very important and critical. Okay, so insist your mechanic to remove this. Most will say कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, like all roadside mechanics would say, चलता है वाला attitude. But don't go by that. Ask them to remove this and clean it. Most would not even know that there is a stainer bolt or a stainer inside, and because they don't have the 17 box spanners, very they'll tactically say that नहीं कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Okay, so that's tip number 3 to you. Another thing, this Dio, unlike the old Dio, has a different oil capacity, engine oil capacity. So this one over here has a 0.7 liter, so that's 700 ml. The older Dio had a 800 ml oil capacity. This one has only 0.100 ml less. Okay, so when you get an oil can, which normally for 4 strokes they have a 900 ml can these days, just to save the cost. Most of the mechanics will pour everything. They'll just keep some 100 ml aside and they'll pour everything, which is incorrect. That's step number 4. Ask them to put only the required oil quantity, which is 700 ml. If you don't do that, your oil seals are under pressure. Okay, and if your oil seals are under pressure, they might start leaking. That's tip number 4. Always use only the required quantity of engine oil. Now, another thing, what you can do is, with the remaining oil, the leftover oil, you can use that in your gearbox, okay, which is 120 ml. So you can remove this drain bolt, and this is the oil lever bolt. Just drain the oil and put that remainder oil in the gearbox. I know most of the people will say it's not advisable to put the 20W40 grade in this, but yes, you can do that. We've been doing that since our Kindly Honda days. We've been using 20W40 in our gearboxes. At the most, what you see is some gas on this gearbox. The oil gas is in the gearbox, and you can change that every 5,000 kilometers. Now, normally I use Mobil 1, which is the 10W40 grade, which costs you almost in Mobil 1 you get for 850 rupees. But this time I'm going to use mineral oil, but again Mobil, because I'm a super fan of Mobil. So that's it. Ensure that your mechanic is following all the steps. Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, please share it to your friends and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.